Okay, and 3, a 2, a 1. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Questlog, the weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett, and this is episode 19. Joining me as always... What was it, Brian?
19.
19!
Hype.
Hi! Brian Maxwell, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing so good, Tyler. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you, and I'm glad I can count on you, because it's nights like this, you know, not everyone can always answer the call of Questlog,
Nope.
right? You know, sometimes real life's a real bear. You know, she bucks pretty hard sometimes. But we remain. We will be here, and we're not alone. We don't have to fight this fight, just the two of us, because we've got a cool community of listeners, friends, other people that like to come in and join us. And this week, we've brought with us Ryan Romain. How you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much for having me. It's really good to be here.
Well, we are glad to have you. It's cool to bring yet another person into the fold here.
Just, I've been listening to you guys on and off, and you guys are really cool. So anything I can do to contribute.
Thank you. We are really cool.
Yeah, we like to. If you've got
Some people
any
manage
more...
not to see it.
That is true. That is true. Ryan, I think I met you at Brian's house, the one and only time that we've met in person, and we were doing some board gaming that night.
It's actually
right.
2 times.
2 times, that's
One
right.
time. Yep.
2
we
in a
played
row.
Shadowhunters and Resistance one night, and then we played, I think it was Dead of Winter?
Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Yep. I've been trying to get my Dead of Winter fix ever since then, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Brian has too many friends. He's too popular.
Yeah.
It's my cross to bear. Yeah.
He's just such a cool guy.
But we don't only play board games. We're here to talk about video games. And
Edge games.
Yeah, we got a few of them. I'm going to get right into it with a little ditty that goes a little something like this. Alright, let's get into what we've been playing. Before we do that, actually, I'm curious what kind of games you're into, Ryan, because I'm not really familiar with your gaming background, so what kind of stuff you like?
I've been playing video games a lot longer. I've been playing board games. I got into board games because of Maxwell.
He does
I
that to
usually
people.
I usually play a lot of RPGs, MMORPGs.
Okay.
And I'm really big into those. I've been doing a lot of interactive gaming and stuff like that. Recently, pretty much anything that's got an RPG element, I'll play.
My man.
All of the games except for the For Honor beta that I've been playing recently have some sort of RPG element. I just like watching figures and keeping track of stats and stuff.
Cool. I can get on board with that. Let's see. Anything that you would put in your... if you had to pick one thing to play... maybe that's too much. One thing to play for the rest of your life. One game. What's your top
Just
game?
one.
Yeah, just pick one.
At the moment, it's going to be Final Fantasy XIV, without a doubt, because I put in way more hours on that than anything I think I've ever played.
That's fair enough. That makes sense. Well, cool. Well, let's jump into what we've been playing this week. Brian, I'm going to let you start it off with Axiom Verge.
Axiom Verge. Axiom Verge is a love letter to Super Metroid. It looks like a Super Nintendo game. It's got all the exploration, the weapon upgrades, the skill upgrades that you'd expect from Super Metroid. Even graphically, it's got just the exploring a hostile foreign planet. A lot of bugs and shit crawling around and shooting at you. It's got the boss fights. It's got a lot more weapon upgrades than I think Super Metroid had, but it's really well done. It was really nice to play that. Like, it's a really good throwback to that time. I started it last week and finished it this week. Got into it and burned through it. Took me about 20 hours or so.
Nice.
The major difference between that and Super Metroid is it's got a glitching element where you get a weapon that can make the enemies kind of glitch out, and you can sort of glitch through walls and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool.
I watched you play a bit of this on the stream, twitch.tv/questlogcast for anyone that isn't watching live. But yeah, it looks exactly like what you're talking about. Like, at first glance, if you squint, it looks like Metroid. And the thing that first caught me, that set it apart as something different, was what you're talking about, the kind of glitchiness. As I was watching you fight some boss, I kept seeing like little particle things kind of flash in and out of certain areas, and there's like this weird the loading bar or something looks like a bunch of pixels and stuff kind of like fizzling around. It has like a very cool, I don't know, effect going on with that. So
yeah, I'm really glad I played it. It's not completely perfect. Kind of near the end, I was kind of ready for it to be done. Like, it's one of those games that shows you areas that you can't get to until you get an upgrade, and you've got to come back. There's a ton of backtracking. You've got save rooms in the game, like save nodes, and I wish they would have let you teleport between those, because I spent an awful lot of time just hoofing it back and forth across this big old map, and by the end of it, I was kind of ready to be done. I wish they'd have some sort of fast travel in it. And the teleport controls were kind of janky too. Like you could teleport a short distance once you get that power up. You do that by like double tapping the analog stick twice in a direction, which is really imprecise. At least for me, it was. I kept on doing it accidentally during combat, or I couldn't get it timed just right. Like, I wish they'd put that on a button.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I see like the tile-based graphics for the walls and stuff, and the little mobs circling the platforms. I would have guessed like a Metroid homebrew or something.
Metroid.
First.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they kind of lean into it. I don't think it shies away from its inspirations. That's a good thing, you know. We all know what this is.
Right. It seems like there's some call-outs to other franchises and stuff, too, which is really cool. Like, at one point, I don't want to spoil anything, I guess. Can you spoil a game like this? One of the power-ups, I'm just going to say it, you like get injected with this stuff, and when you're at full health, these like tentacle guns sprout out of your back. And I was like, holy shit, it looks like he's
full of a swarm.
It looks like he's an infested Terran from StarCraft. Yeah, it's really cool.
Tychus Finley? Is that you?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're talking to the tentacles, I don't think that's really a spoiler.
Right. Yeah, it was a cool thing to see, and it seems like there's a lot of that kind of thing where, you just there's little nods and suggestions to other games and franchises.
Some of the power-ups are a little weird, like you can't see it in the video now, but one of the power-ups you get is a lab coat, which looks like a duster, which, I'm into that. I give me my long flowing jacket and my guns. And
yeah, it was cool. It looks like there's a lot of trial and error. I'm just watching you shoot walls with different guns to see if something happens.
Yeah, that's always a double-edged sword, because every now and again one of the walls will, glitch out or break away, and you can pass through it. But that also means I'm just walking around shooting walls.
Yeah.
Some people like that kind of thing, though. Just hunting down every little section looking for secrets. Me personally, I just get frustrated. I'm like, okay, I guess secrets are okay, but this is just kind of getting boring, shooting the wall over and over again.
It's funny you mention that. I think it's a vestige of that era of gaming. You couldn't have a big open world thing where we can climb up to the top of a tower and unlock new waypoints to travel to and that sort of thing. It's kind of the longevity of the game comes from that type of exploration, the retreading of areas you've already been, and trying to bomb the right wall for secrets and stuff like that. That was what added, hours of gameplay to some of those old Super Nintendo games that we've been playing games differently for a long while
for me.
now, Yeah.
Like, I really feel compelled to do that. I like finding all the weapons and all the power-ups. I like looking in all the dark corners for everything. But, Ryan's right. There's a point where it gets to be more work than fun.
Right. I think Diablo strikes a good balance there, where the gameplay itself kind of lends to that style of let's check every nook and cranny, because what you're doing is already, how do I put that? The gameplay facilitates that kind of tedious behavior. I don't know, it feels like the thing you're already doing, you can also do this without having to specifically go, I'm going to shoot all the walls for 20 minutes in this room, and you know what I mean?
Right, you're not going to find something that's like unique behind a certain wall. It's just different things dropping your loot for the most part.
Right. Whereas I'm already blowing everything up in my path. Like, it doesn't hurt me to go blow up the other stuff that's up there, the barrels and whatever, on this floor of the dungeon.
Yeah, Ryan's a Diablo fan too.
I am. I haven't played in a little while, but I really went pretty hardcore on Diablo 3 for a good long while.
Yep.
What was Prestige or whatever the bonus rank are was like 400 something at some point.
Oh, the Paragon levels, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've gone hard on Diablo. Phrasing. I've been way into Diablo a couple times over the past couple years, and I don't know. I think I'm in one of the waning phases where I'll be really excited to see what happens when the Necromancer comes out. But
yep, you can only do that for so long. Like, I got to the point where the only thing left for me was to try to hunt down specific, gear for specific sets. Which, no, thank you. It's not fun. I'm going to kill things for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I hope my one sword drops. I hope that one piece of armor that I need drops.
I got there, Ryan, where it was like I had my full set. I had an ancient weapon, the one that I needed. I'd gone through and rolled it all the right way so I could get it, and then it was like, okay, well now I got to collect my set again and hope that I get ancient versions of all the set pieces if I want to be able to go to the next tournament level or whatever. And I just got kind of burned out on that whole.
And that's fine.
Wheel,
the game doesn't owe me anything. I put a lot of hours into it. People get pissed off, like, oh, you guys aren't supporting Diablo 3. It's like, well, sorry, I only got 500 hours into it, you turds. Come on. It's not going to go forever.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun for a few weeks at a time, and then I put it down for a few months, and then Dora and I will go back to it, play it together for a couple weeks or a month.
Every now and again, it's like, I just need to kill many things and have them fall before me without putting up much of a fight.
I just need to bulldoze through a bunch of demons and shit, skeletons, whatever. Yep, it's a good therapeutic game for sure. If you just want to go knock the shit out of something, there's still of most of the games I've played. I don't know if I found something as satisfying as playing the Crusader. He gets like a shield charge ability.
That's your particular jam, though.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just, like, there's an animation where, like, it was early on in the game, I rolled the first Crusader I'd ever played, and I go up to this, like, zombie and shield bash it, like, shield charge it, and it just knocks all the flesh and blood and everything straight out the backside of this thing as soon as I hit it. I was like, wow, the animation of that impact.
Tyler?
Yeah, I know, right? It's a grim moment, but, like, that was such a visceral, like, I don't know. There was so much kinetic force like behind that, and I was just like, okay, this is the coolest thing ever. And I've yet to find another game that's quite matched that. So yeah, when I'm having a bad day and just want to watch stuff die, Diablo 3. It's good.
I would check out Grim Dawn. That's another Diablo like. I really got into. I like that more than Diablo, honestly.
The thing I struggled, I played. I tried Path of Exile, I think was the one. I've tried a couple of these, and the thing I always come back to, it's the same problem I have with MMOs, and we'll get to that, I guess, a little bit too.
Tyler,
what?
Did you almost say Path of Excellence?
No, but
okay. Thank you.
You just gave me a thing. Something bad happened. That's a holdover. That's a holdover from Best Buy. Yeah, we worked at Best Buy. There was a thing called Path of Excellence. I don't want to think about it anymore.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Are your
Yeah.
trainings done, by the way? Are you up to date
I
on your
did
trainings?
Circuit City, so I
Your
kind of
e-learnings?
know the path.
Yeah, it had to do with training modules that were ridiculous and tedious and bad. But no, I played quite a tangent there. Uh, I I played a few of these other things, and the thing I always come back to is like I could go through and learn all of this and forget everything I know about Diablo and what sets are good and what kind of things I want and stats and all that, and relearn this new game. Or I could just go play Diablo again if I want that feeling, you know. And that's the thing I always struggle with. Same with MMOs. I'm like, oh cool, brand new MMO. There's all this new shiny stuff, and I'm starting at level 1, and I could just go play my max level character over there, or the one I have at like 70 and need to level up. Like,
See, I don't
Yeah.
feel that with like Diablo-like games. I'm okay with picking up different ones. So I've never found one that really scratches the itch quite the same. I think Torchlight 2 was the closest for me. With MOBAs, however, I definitely feel that way. Like I picked up Smite, and I'm like, this is probably neat, but if I play this, I have to stop playing Heroes, and I've invested so much in Heroes. I've already got it. I don't want to start at the bottom of another mountain like that.
yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, it's same way with Final Fantasy 14. We'll get into that though, I'm sure.
Well, before we do, let's give it to Ryan and have him tell us about Tales of Berseria. What is it?
Tales of Berseria is the next one in a long line of Tales of games, which are Japanese RPGs, which, to put it easily, they're interactive anime.
Okay.
They're very anime style art. The storylines are very, anime like, but this one does it really well. It's a lot of fun. I mean, the story is nothing that you wouldn't find in an anime, but I just enjoyed it. It was well told. The voice acting was really good. It's got, as you can see, action combat, which isn't hard to pull off.
Real time, yeah.
Yeah, real time. And it's just, you can crank up the difficulty or turn it down so you don't get frustrated, or if you just want to follow along with the story. You can dress your characters up in little costumes if you find the right costume pieces. And stuff.
Tyler?
I'm a big fan of that.
And I really, really loved it. I finished it this morning about 6:30 in the morning, and because I had been playing all night, and I turned around because I was gonna be like, "Hey, Dora, I finished it," but she was already asleep behind me, and I turned to my computer screen, and Maxwell had messaged me asking me if I was gonna be coming on, or if I wanted to come on, what time I was coming on. I don't remember. It was 6 in the morning. I don't remember much of anything except for the ending of the game.
I don't know the last time I've done that. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I just had an all-nighter and stayed up till the sun came up. That's pretty good.
It's just
that's high praise.
It's very good because it's just, the story isn't like you see in a lot of RPGs. A lot of it's feel good hero trying to stop the bad guy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, you're kind of the bad guy trying to get revenge on the good guys, and there's twists back and forth. But at no point does anybody in your party feel like they're a good person until the very last half. There's a couple of redemption arcs, but it's an amazing game. I had a lot of fun with it. It was probably my favorite game of the year so far.
So do you
that's awesome.
So do you like gain levels and acquire new skills and put
Yep.
skill points into things and get new gear and the whole RPG?
It's got a very linear progression system. As you level, you get different abilities, which you'll slot onto your controller, so you can use them in certain ways. And it's got special moves that you can activate by doing moves in certain orders. As you wear equipment, you master it, and once you master equipment, you keep that equipment's abilities permanently. So you want to have your characters wear as much different equipment as possible, so they can all become stronger. Because in the higher difficulty levels, that's really necessary. And at the hidden dungeons, after the end game technically ends, if your characters aren't max level with a lot of equipment, then you're going to get destroyed, because that's where the real challenge is. It's not something I'll take care of because I play games mainly for the story now, and I was kind of surprised I liked the story as much as I did. That's why I kept playing it. I was like, this will be fun for a day or two, but the story just pulled me in, and I played it nonstop for like a week. my playthrough was 62 hours, and that is without all the side quests. And for a game now, that's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. Is it like is it kind of each zone is kind of its own little sequestered thing, and then there's like a big, world map, you fast travel between points, or is it like a big open world game? What's it like in that regard?
You're on the map, and you pick a point, and your characters will sail to each village or each dungeon.
Okay.
And the dungeons and villages sometimes interconnect, but for the most part, it's just, you go hotspot to hotspot. There's no open world that you can freely explore like the old Final Fantasies or Dragon Quests or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was just a really good time. I mean, I really loved it.
Awesome. The combat looked really cool. I'm watching a video of it right now. It seems, definitely that over the top kind of, like almost Devil May Cry style stuff going on. But it's cool. I liked it.
Very close to it. Not quite as deep as Devil May Cry, but
right.
They didn't want to make it. But it's definitely, if you want, you can chain 150 hit combos together and.
But it doesn't give you letter grades after your combat?
It gives you number grades after your combat,
I would hate that.
Me too.
On whether or not you get hit, how many times you get hit, how many times people die, and how many items you have to use. And the grade you get, the number, is applied to mastery of your equipment. So the better you perform, the faster you master a piece of equipment, so you can switch to a new piece of equipment and get new stats that way.
Games that do that always give me, I don't know, I always get this weird anxiety. Like, I played Devil May Cry, and it was like I'd go through a combat and get a D. I'm just like, well, fuck it. I guess I should just stop playing. Thanks.
It's not as bad as this one because there's no maximum grade. Like, you can't get any. There's no grade that you should shoot for. It can get It's just you do your best, and based on speed, it might be totally different one time than another because you have a party of 4 people fighting, and the computer controls the other 3. So you can't really do it perfectly unless you switch between characters really fast, which is just really difficult to do in a boss fight or something.
Good stuff.
I don't know. I haven't played a lot of JRPGs recently, and this one Final Fantasy 15, I guess that counts, a couple months ago. But this really hooked me right from the get-go.
Seems like there aren't as many of those as there used to be.
What platform you played on?
I played it on the PS4.
Cool.
It's out for PC too, so certain other people here can play it, I think, probably.
So I've got to ask, Ryan, you have a disability with one of your hands. This looks like, I can't imagine playing this with one hand. Like, I'm sure that's something that you've had to get used to, obviously, but it looks like, 2 analog sticks.
During combat, you only really use one. The second analog stick can control camera angle, but you don't really need to move that constantly.
It's a luxury. Gotcha.
Yeah. And the way I hold the controller, it just makes it easy for me to play most games. The only games I really can't play on a console are console first-person shooters, because that requires constant right-stick work.
Hey, I can't either. It's okay.
So I stick to PC when I decide to do first-person shooters. Like Overwatch.
Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a PS4 real soon. So.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth it. I mean, for the first year, we barely touched ours, but probably in the last, year, I've been using it a lot more.
Yeah, I ordered a few games because all the good games that came out, the last couple of years are like $20 now. So.
Bloodborne, get Bloodborne.
Already got it.
Yeah,
You're gonna lose your mind.
You keep saying you're hoping to get a PS4. You have through and bought games for it. Like it's
I'm
going
to get a PS4.
Yeah,
yes,
it's just a matter of when at this point.
Yep, I picked up Bloodborne, Last of Us, and the Heavy Rain Beyond Two Souls combo disc.
Nice.
Because Heavy Rain.
I know how much you loved Heavy Rain. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times here. Yeah, that's cool.
It was on my top 50 list.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with that list. I saw what you put on that list today.
Yep. The Worlds of the Warcraft.
Yep. Well, I've got this all out of order. I guess we could jump around. I could always skip over to it.
It's your show. You can do what you want.
Yeah, I'm not beholden to any list. Um,
YOLO.
let's do it. I was going to talk about For Honor, but let's jump over to Warcraft first because I've got a Warcraft
Segue.
story, and this is a segue.
Wonderfully done.
Yeah.
Wonderfully done.
So, so Blizzard announced a new way for you to use your gold in World of Warcraft, and you can now. A while back, they introduced the WoW token, which you could buy with gold in game, and redeem it for 15 days of gameplay time.
30 days.
Sorry, yes, thanks, Ryan. 30 days. They wouldn't stiff you on
Tyler.
that. You get a full 30. That's why we brought him on. Keep me honest here. I'm spreading lies. I'm giving alternative facts here.
I'm just here to do my part.
Appreciate it. So yeah, you buy a WoW token, you turn it in for game time, and you buy it from another player. So the idea is that somebody who wants to buy gold doesn't have to go through some fishy third-party site and get their credit card stolen. They can give $20 to Blizzard to buy one of these WoW tokens, and then they get to see what the going rate for one is in gold. The price fluctuates based on demand and supply, I found out. So that person decides, okay, yep, 80,000 gold is worth $20 to me, so I'll buy one of those WoW tokens. Person who's got 80,000 gold but not $15 decides that's a good deal. I'll take one of those so I can keep playing this game, and they complete that transaction. Well, now you can take your gold and buy a WoW token, but instead of trading it in for game time, they let you convert that into $15 on your Battle.net balance. I am very addicted to the game Heroes of the Storm, and I like dressing up all my little digital dollies.
Oh, no.
And so I decided that I would like to take my WoW gold and trade that in and turn it into some Battle.net balance. Maybe dress up Johanna, you know. Maybe get a little bit of, maybe a little
Get that,
something for
Spellbreaker
Zarya.
skin?
Yeah. Have you seen it? I might find a picture of it. That's really cool. So yeah, I decided to go down this path. Right, I'm like, okay, cool. They're going for like 60K right now. I've got like 90 left on one of my characters, I find out. But I try to log into the game to do that, and since my account is inactive, it wouldn't let me make that transaction. So I got a hold of Blizzard customer service. They looked into it. They let me know that I was listening to their promo video for this wrong, because I thought that you could do this with an inactive account, but it turns out you cannot. You have to have an active World of Warcraft subscription in order to convert it into Battle.net balance. So I was kind of bummed out about that. But the GM was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I got you. And he threw me 48 hours worth of game time for free on the house so I could go and complete that transaction. So thumbs up to Blizzard customer service. That was awesome. I know they've done stuff like that in the past for people, and it was really cool. It happened instantly. He was just like, he typed whoosh, and then I saw my thing update, and instead of saying inactive, it said 48 hours. So that was kind of cool.
That is the exact same problem I had but I wanted to use the money for Overwatch stuff.
Ah.
I was playing Overwatch for a while, so
Yeah.
I wanted to do that. But
So hey, just get a hold of Blizzard customer service on their
Yeah,
website,
obviously.
and they can hook you up.
it's possible.
Here's the problem where that all fell apart. It turns out everybody else had the same idea that I did, and when I went to go pick up one of these WoW tokens, there weren't any. And so I kept going back to the auction house, checking back. It only lets you try every minute to buy one of these things, and it tells you the current rate. So I'd walk up, click buy now. Sorry, there are currently no WoW tokens available. Please try again later. Wait another minute, go back, click. Same thing. So every time this happens, every about 15 minutes or so, I'm watching the price start to tick up too. It's going up by about like 3% every single time. I'm like,
Yeah, it's a seller's market.
Yep. So I'm realizing, like, okay, there aren't any of these things. Nobody's buying the physical ones, and it goes by region too. So it's everybody in North America is trying to buy the same tokens and using the same market. So I wait. As I'm doing that, I'm playing World of Warcraft now because I'm like, if I'm gonna have to wait around for one of these tokens, I might as well check this stuff out, see where I left off. And it started clawing back, started getting its hooks back into me a little bit. I'm like,
Thought they were being good guys, giving you 48 hours.
Yeah, no, they were giving
They
me the
knew what
marketing.
they were doing.
Oh yeah, they were like, yeah, first hit's free. Yeah, you're gonna go get some skins, aren't you? Sure, okay. So, so the more I'm playing, the more I'm realizing like I'm not gonna get one of these WoW tokens. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna let me do it. So I start playing the game for real, checking out the new quests. I end up finishing my artifact weapon and unlocking the the upgraded appearance to it, finishing the class hall campaign that I started months and months ago. And that was really cool. It had an awesome culmination to it and got some really good story out of it. So just as I was about to go to bed, it was like super late. I look at the market and the price on this token has jumped up by like 30k gold. So at this point, I'm like, well, now I can see this pattern here. I'm watching it. There's a website that tracks this. It's wowtoken.info. You can kind of see, it's like a stock market. You can see like the sell prices and stuff and the patterns. So I'm seeing it peaking at like midnight, and I'm like, okay, well, if this happens again and this drops all the way back down to what it was, this morning when I started trying to buy one, if I go buy a WoW token myself, I can then flip it. Like I can sell mine instantly, make the gold, and then come back and buy one for like 60k tomorrow, right? And I'll have made a bunch of gold. Maybe I can do it again if they drop real low. Well, it didn't happen. It never, the market started to even out by then. So I wound up cashing it in for slightly less than what I paid for it, and made a little bit of a profit on it, but not nearly as much as I had hoped. So the moral of the story is, don't try to play the WoW token market because it's not worth your time or effort. But yeah, other than that, good things to report about Warcraft. Yeah, I played it for 2 days and got a lot out of it, and it's still really good. It reminded me that before the new expansion came out, I leveled a ton of characters. I have I want to say I have 7 or 8 level 100s ready to go, ready to level in the new content if I wanted to. So I am kind of missing it. I will admit that there's a part of me that wishes I could just dive right back into it. But I'm still really into Heroes. I'm still really into some other games. The Switch comes out next month, less than a month away.
Not a Switch fan. I mean, I think it's a good idea. It's the next step of progression of what Nintendo is doing, but it's not friendly for disabled gamers at all. So the layout of that controller is a mess.
So is it just because it's a fucking tablet you're gonna have to hold with 2 hands? Yep. It doesn't seem like there's any way around that.
Nope. I mean, they have a controller that you can purchase, but I shouldn't have to pay an extra $70 for a special controller.
Yeah.
So I might pick it up down the line with the Switch.
My understanding is I thought it comes with the little pad style controller that you can snap those things into, like when you have it in the home console mode. So it comes with that. So that's still kind of I mean, it is, I think, bigger than a normal, like a PS4 controller or whatever, but still looks real bulky and weird. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, it also is a $300 console. It's not, it's not super cheap like the Wii was when it first came out. I think those were $200 or something like that. So
So
when you're using a standard controller, are you like palming the analog stick and then using your fingers on the buttons?
Using you hold a PS4 controller like normal, but then it's put the left side of your left hand, put it on the top where the trigger buttons are, and then my thumb does the analog, and then my pointer does the R1 and R2 buttons and the triangle, square, X, and circle buttons, and then my pinky / the lower part of the finger does the L2 and L1 buttons. And I've been practicing that for many years, so I do a pretty good job.
I'm sure.
Brian sent me a picture. I threw it up on the stream there. So
yeah, that's how I hold my controller.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got to be frustrating to have games that come out that don't support that very well or at all.
Yeah, the good thing about Sony is that Sony has put it into the PlayStation's software or hardware, firmware, whichever it would be, that you can map the controller's buttons to whatever you want for any game. So
I didn't know that.
So most games I can play. The only games I really can't play are first-person shooters because double analog sticks is just
Yeah.
on top of other things is too hard to be precise.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
Because most first-person shooters that are any good on the PlayStation usually are on the PC too. So I'm okay.
Well, let's switch gears. I want to talk about For Honor because I had some people tell me I needed to try this game. The premise is it's Vikings and knights and samurai fighting, and don't worry about anything else, really. It was what I get from it. I watched the intro video. They tried to work some kind of story involving Apollyon and, like, this is like just 1,000 years war that's been going on forever. Forget all
No
that.
one cares about that.
Fuck
No
all
one
that.
gives
Yeah.
a crap.
I get to be a fucking Viking and fight dudes in armor, and it's cool. So
I've been playing the beta this week, and it's something else. It is basically like a Dark Souls type game with multiplayer focus, and it's a lot of fun. It's really hard. Like if you go, even the computer practice bots are tough, and when you go against a player that's been playing like in the alphas and betas and know what they're doing, the fights are over in seconds if you don't know how to block properly.
Yep.
But you feel good about it, you enjoy it, and you want to get better.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of skill involved. It's brutal. Like there's some really cool finishing animations and stuff that you can pull off. It feels I don't know how to describe the combat. The combat is similar to Mountain Blade. I don't know if you guys either of you played that.
I did not know.
It's Mountain Blade's like a third person RPG, but it has like a real heavy focus on like simulation almost. I want to say it's like there's these huge battles, almost like a Total War game or something like that can break out, and the combat is very realistic too. Like, you know, if you see a guy coming at you, he's gonna chop you like this. You have to block the right way so that you put whatever you're using up to block a vertical attack, or block to the side to block a horizontal slash, that sort of thing. That's all here too. You can see like when they basically L target something, it goes into like this block stance mode, and you have to either go up, left, or right to block those attacks. And if you don't time them right, like, wow, gosh, this is crazy. This knight guy is watching this knight guy fight this Viking berserker, and the berserker's tearing him a new one.
So,
Incredibly fast-paced.
are you capturing points on a map
In
when you
some
play?
modes, yeah. There's also just straight duel and brawl types, but the Dominion mode is like the centerpiece, where there's 3 capture points. And one of them, two of the capture points are, you get there, you stay there till it's captured, then you start gaining points for your team. But the center one has the armies of both sides fighting, and you actually have to get in there and mix it up with the grunts and everything.
Yeah,
and it gets pretty wild.
There's soldiers that are just kind of, like Ryan said, they're just grunts that you carve through. There's siege weaponry and things like that you can activate and use, traps and things like that you can set off to catch other people. But I didn't get too far into it. I probably played it for an hour and a half or so, and that's all the time I really had with it. But it's something I want to check out. Did they say, is it going to be like a free-to-play game where you unlock characters and stuff by paying for them?
I think it's a full-price game.
Yeah, that's where the downfall is for me. As much fun as I'm having, it's not a $60 game for me. It's so focused on PvP. There's no real single-player progression aspect, so it's not a $60 buy. So I won't be picking it up right away. But if there's a sale, I'll absolutely grab it. It's been a lot of fun.
The thing that strikes me is and maybe that changes once you buy the game. But right now, you have to use an in-game currency to unlock new characters, and
you have to do that too.
And so, I don't know. I guess maybe it's from playing a game like Heroes of the Storm, where I'm used to. I either use the in-game currency or use the real money, but I'm not buying the game to unlock the new people. It just seems weird to me that you would spend $60 and then also have to go through all that. But I guess that's how video games used to work before this goddamn pay to play, free to play stuff started.
Well, the thing is, you can use any character in the game when you buy the game, but if you want to like customize their appearance or something, you have to get the currency, which is basically experience points, and use that to unlock the ability to customize some of the characters. So you're not wasting anything. You can play them as much as you want, and then if you like one, you can spend your iron or your steel or whatever it is to unlock their customizability options.
So
that's not
you can dress up your Viking dolly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that, which yeah, that's right up my alley. And like the first thing that you do is customize your symbol, your shield. Like it's something I could definitely sink a ton of time into if I wanted to.
It's a lot. It's fun, but it's just not a $60 game for me, because it's for people that like fighting against other people more than other stuff. That's secondary for me.
It looks like it would like take a lot of time and dedication to get good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree there, because it's got Dark Souls-ish combat. Very technical, tactical, exact movements and dodging is required.
You're not button mashing.
No.
Yeah, if you do that, you're dead.
And there's combos to learn, and each character has their own, and they, it has that MOBA aspect of it, of like, this one is kind of an assassin, this one is kind of a tankier character, this one's like a bruiser, jack of all trades kind of thing. It definitely has those elements.
Can you be a Murloc?
No, you can't.
I'm out.
I haven't found the Murloc class. Can I say one thing that's driving me insane about it though so far is the Ubisoft need to put glowy fucking UI shit all over the screen constantly. I
didn't see any of this in my game. I think it's an option.
Maybe
when I was playing, I didn't see these swirly things.
Yeah, I'm watching this, and the dude's sword is like flashing every time he does a power attack. There's like a beam of light that goes onto the thing he's targeting, and like every time he gets healed, there's this big whoosh of plus signs all over the screen and stuff.
Does it break your immersion?
A bit.
The only thing I ever see is like the orange and blue lines on the ground to mark the zones.
And that stuff's fine. Like, I get... I guess to me this probably reads as more of like, we want this to be an esport that people play, and we want it to be very clear what's happening while, so somebody can cast this. That's what that looks like to me. And which is fine. I get that if that's what you're going for, cool, but I don't know. Maybe it's fine here, because this play is more like an esport than it does, say, Zelda or a Skyrim or
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, well, I guess that was the thing that triggered me on it, was like they do that kind of shit in Assassin's Creed, they do that kind of shit in some of these other games, and it gets under my skin. So I was like, oh cool, a game about medieval combat and Vikings and knights and stuff. Oh wait, it's still got all the Ubisoft like video game stuff. You are playing a video game is being shouted at you the entire time. So. But it is very good at what it is, so I will check it out probably a little bit more. I think the beta runs the rest of...
the weekend, I think it runs through the 12th.
Okay. Yeah. I might load it up again and try to get a little bit more into it, but it's well done. It's a good one of those, to coin a phrase.
Yeah. One of those games, yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, Brian, I don't think we've ever talked about Stardew Valley on the show before.
No,
What is it?
I know for a fact I've never heard anything about this game.
Stardew Valley, I think is what it's called.
Cat's been playing quite a bit of it this week. Some comfort gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I have to when I'm kind of restless. Like that and Darkest Dungeon are my go-tos lately. She was going to be on the show tonight, but she went to bed because it's late and it's been a real rough week. So
Totally understandable.
I fired it up just to... What's that?
That's right, it's late there, isn't it?
Yes, it's late where we are, yeah. Yeah, you're on the West Coast.
Yep, that's West Coast.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I moved. That's why you don't see me anymore at Maxwell's house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I fired it up just to get gameplay, like footage, just because I'd rather have our own footage rather than try to find it somewhere and
Mm-hmm.
borrow someone else's video. And then I ended up playing it for a few hours. Just, it's got that treadmill of there's always something coming like the next day. You're always close to something, some farm upgrade, some crop harvest, new season. So
That is something I will agree with Luke on, is that that treadmill can feel demanding. Like if you're
intimidating.
if you're working towards something, it can feel like, oh, I just don't. There's literally not enough hours in the day, or not enough energy in the day, to do all the stuff that I want to do today.
Yeah, that gets better though. Like the more you play it,
Mm-hmm.
you can automate a lot of the stuff on your farm. Like you can automate the watering of the crops. And like there are times when I'll have my person go to bed at like 5 o'clock because there's nothing left I need to do. I just need to advance time to the next day. But like that's never bothered me. Having too much stuff to do has never bothered me.
It's a weird complaint. It's not like I don't really mean like, oh god, I wish there wasn't so much to do. It's just, I want to be doing so much in the game. Like
You want to do all
yeah,
of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like you got to kind of pick and choose, what you're going to do on a given day. You're not going to do all the things every day, but I can be like, all right, it's raining. Well, I have to ignore my crops today. I'm going to go fishing today, or I'm going to go spend the day in the mines.
Is this your playthrough or Cat's?
This is my play. Yep.
God.
Notice how he timed out talking about raining. Perfect.
Yep.
The damn. My farm doesn't look anything like that.
You should see my wife's farm. She's she's looking to 100% the game. She's,
It's her,
there's a screen where it shows all the things that you've collected, and she's looking to fill that screen up and get all the relationships
wow.
all the way up. And
It's impressive. I can't say enough good things about it. It's an amazing little game. I love the time that I spent with it, and watching this just makes me feel like such a failure.
oh well, this is early in year 2 of the game.
Sure. Yeah. What are the? I never
I'm
found
thinking-
this out. What are the little shrines, little animal shrines? What do those do?
What's that?
There's like little shrines around. There's got bunny one, I think, on your farm. Little gem. Do you know what those do?
As you get further into the game, you can craft things that'll let you teleport between them.
Oh, that's cool.
Some fast travel.
That's pretty neat.
I'm not delving back into it.
Farm.
It's not cheating if the game lets you do it. I'm looking to maybe get back into it for realsies when they add multiplayer, which is supposed to be, sometime this year.
Oh, that soon, huh?
That's my understanding, or at least maybe that's my hope. But
Oh yeah, get
have
real
like a
into
4-player.
it.
Yeah.
No, I'll be all about that.
I've never been big on farming simulators or anything. Dora loves it. Dora gets into it pretty good. It's just not my thing.
I've said it before. It's like, it feels like, I don't know. It feels like if you were to take Zelda or some of those early, Super Nintendo NES. What did I just say? Super Nintendo Entertainment System games like the Final Fantasies or some of the other ones. It has that whole look and feel, and it just feels like if you just said, okay, but all your time is spent in the town and on this farm and stuff instead of going and saving the princess. That's what it feels like to me, and I like that part a lot.
Yep. It's relaxing, just like the look and the music. It's a very
it's a
peaceful
beautiful
game.
It's just sometimes games just aren't for you, and
Oh yeah,
I
for
need
sure.
a goal. I need a definite goal, like something to do. And Dora's like, but you can make your own goals. You can do your own thing. I'm like, I don't want that. Give me a quest.
We just saw Linus, which is me in 40 years living on the edge of town and in a suit made of leaves in a tent, scavenging for food. That's where I'll be.
Life goals.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying your time with it, Cat, too. And
Yeah, that's awesome.
keep me updated on when multiplayer goes live, because if there's a beta or something, I want to try that out. That's real cool.
For sure.
That is cool. Ryan, Final Fantasy XIV. I'm so confused about this game because didn't this come out like 10 years ago or something.
Okay. I'll give you the story. I'll give you the whole
Dead
story.
game.
In 2010, Final Fantasy XIV came out, and it was the worst game ever. Now, some people will debate that. The purists will be like, "Oh, but it had this, it had that." Everything designed to do in the game was made to do slowly.
Okay.
Like, you were limited on how much XP you could gain in a day. Then you'd have to stop and come back tomorrow or switch classes. Just everything about it was terrible. Square Enix shut it down. A new director came out. He said, "I can make this game better." And then in 2013, it came back. They re-released it as Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, and it is the best MMO out right now, hands down. No, nothing even comes close for me. If you like the WoW style of questing and combat stuff, it just does everything WoW does, just better. I'm sorry, I love WoW. I played Legion for a couple months, but it just made me want to go back to Final Fantasy XIV again. And that I'm always playing it. Like, that game gets booted up probably 4 out of 7 days out of the week, and I'm really into it.
That's your default?
Yep. I'm really I'm starting to do endgame raids again. Not looking to be like one of the world first, my guild's the best guild kind of things, but I want to see the top tier of content that only so many people get to see. And it's just fun because the class system is really good because one character can do everything, and some people don't like that, but I'm like, why? This way I don't have to level a ton of alts. It's just one character. Everything I need, all of the crafters I need, all of the different. If I need to be a tank, if I need to be a healer, it's all right there. You just take the time to level each one, and it's a lot of fun. The story's really good. It's a beautiful game, as you can see, and especially when they came out with DX11 support last year, and the new expansion's coming out in June, and Dora and I are beyond excited for that. And it's just MMOs are easy for me to play with my disability because with a keyboard I can remap everything to wherever I want it to be on my keyboard. So, it's easy to play, physically, and the challenge is there to do things the right way, and it's super easy to get into. It teaches you really well, and I just love it. I mean, I'll just go in circles if I keep talking.
No, it's alright, man. That's cool. I'm glad that there's other games that will give WoW a run for their money. Is it it something you have to pay a subscription fee as well?
It is $12.99 a month if you want one character, which is all you really need because you can level everything on one character. But if there's people that just like to make other characters as bank alts and stuff, then it's $14.99 a month.
Gotcha.
There was something else I wanted to say, but it just slipped out of my mind like 10 seconds ago.
Does the game cost money to buy up front?
The base game costs $20, I believe, right now, and you get the expansion for another $20. When the next expansion comes out, I imagine they're going to package the original and the first expansion together for $20.
WoW's
and then
been doing
the
that
newest
now.
expansion. The newest expansion will probably be $40.
See, I'd be willing to give this a try. This looks good. My problem is always that when I'm paying a monthly fee, I feel obligated to play that game, and then I feel weird if I'm not playing it. You know what I mean? There's this weird psychological thing that happens to me that makes me uncomfortable. I had it with WoW, where it's I'm playing this other game, but I'm paying for WoW. I really should be in there using my subscription.
Yep, that's ultimately why I didn't jump back into WoW.
That's a legitimate way people feel about games, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You've got to be all the way in or out, I feel, with games like these.
And that's
or have more money than I do.
That's always how I used to justify it. Is well, I'm not buying any other games. I could be buying $60 games every month, but instead I'm just playing WoW, and it's only $15 a month. So
and $13 a month, $15 a month, it's not.
Sure.
That's not a huge deal. I mean,
it isn't until what you said, Brian. Is well, if I go a whole month though, and I just flush $15 down the toilet.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel good if my buddies are all like, "Hey, let's play Overwatch, or let's play Heroes of the Storm, or whatever," and I'm like, "Yeah, guys, but I don't know, I really want to just level my goblin."
the way I think of it, and it's not any more valid than your way of thinking, is I play Final Fantasy XIV as my main game, but I'll play games like I was playing Tales of Berseria last week and For Honor to break it up so I don't get burnt out on that game. But I would never play another MMO at the same time and then I have to pay
Right.
more because
Yeah.
that would be silly. But dividing up my time between Final Fantasy XIV and other single-player games or free games, it works for me, and it's really cool.
The time investment is something to consider too. Like you said, you couldn't play another one at the same time, and I feel like any of these, it requires so much dedication to actually make the progress that you want to make and do the things you want to do. That's part of it too. Is like, I tried Elder Scrolls Online, and that recently went not recently anymore, but that has gone free to play, and honestly, like since they did their last one Tamriel update, the game's getting really good reviews. People are saying it's totally different. They've revamped the leveling system. They've revamped the way progression works. You can go anywhere now. You can do anything. Like, it seems like they've really put a lot of work into it. But it comes right back to that feeling of starting over in another MMO, and I'm now starting at level 1, and I can't craft anything, and I don't have any flight points or like waypoints unlocked and that kind of stuff, and it's such a grind no matter what. There's a huge barrier to entry for me.
I feel like for us, Tyler, like Heroes is our all-in game, kind of.
Yep.
Can't have too many of those.
And that's what it feels like.
Mean,
sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Not to try and persuade anybody, but Final Fantasy XIV progresses a lot faster than WoW because it's so early in the cycle. It's not like you're leveling to 110 like you are in WoW now.
Sure.
You're getting up to 60, and they've made it so you can level from 1 to 60 doing only the main story quest. You don't even have to do any side quests or anything.
So when you talk about different classes on the same character, is it like, let's say, is it like you're level 40 as a knight, but then you switch to your priest class and you're level 3 and all your stats go down?
That is correct.
Okay. So it's basically the same effect as like switching characters.
It's just without loading screens.
Without loading screens. I'm going to put my, like my mage hat on.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, the way they do it is each job has a soul crystal that contains all the knowledge of the job, and when you equip that crystal, you got all
you just said job. Now you're making me think of Final Fantasy Tactics.
See, I can get
you. Your audience.
I can get you. And it's just, I love it, and it's fast. If you wanted to try and level, you would have a friend that would play with you to level.
Ooh,
how many classes are there?
There are currently 13. There will be 15 after the expansion in June. And then there's 10 more classes related just to crafting and gathering.
Stop.
I've always... I should mention... So, is this related... Is this like a sequel to 11? Or is this a wholly different thing?
Wholly different land. And, there's a couple references. Like, some of the places are named the same. Okay. All of the races look very similar to the 11 races, but they're technically different.
Okay, I was going to say the visual style, like the races and stuff, looked similar to me. I didn't play 11, but I wanted to.
That
was the other online one?
Yep.
Yeah, that one, I didn't care. 11 was you have to be in a group all the time or you're going to die. And I need to be able to play by myself sometimes.
There was some harsh penalties for death and things like that, too. Like, if you had a real bad day, you could end up with less XP and a lower level than when you started, if you died a lot.
Feels bad.
There's no leveling down in Final Fantasy XIV.
Gotcha.
So it's not that bad.
It's casual friendly.
It's very casual friendly.
It's for Care Bears like me, apparently.
Like they've got like raids at endgame, for the casual players that you can do with like any random group of 8 people, and then there's the savage modes, which are people that want to get organized and want to push their game to the next level, which is what I really want to start trying to do. I've been organizing a group. My fiance is a part of it, and we're looking to do some fun stuff. And we're both super excited for Stormblood because they're bringing in the Red Mage, which is one of the more iconic Final Fantasy classes.
Red Mage.
Yep. He's saying all the things, Brian. Are you feeling it? How close
feel
are you?
nothing.
How close are you to
Brian, if you wanted to do this, I'll say, and there's however many people listen to this podcast as a witness. If you want to
Thousands.
get in, I'll buy
Mike?
you in. I will buy you in, Brian.
Damn.
You're a pusher.
Yep.
No, it is appealing. I think my problem is just having the time to
I
do
understand.
it.
Hey, if you want to play Heroes with us, I can
I can try, but I just can't.
I can get you a refer a friend code and hook you up with several heroes.
I've already got a level 20 account with
Ah.
like 10, 15 heroes. I just don't play. I just don't like MOBAs very much.
I understand.
Neither do we.
Yeah, me either. That's how we started with it too. But yes, that's quite an offer, Brian. You'll have to give that some thought.
It's appealing for sure.
I'm telling you, I will get you in, and we'll get you started.
Get you on that starter pack. Well,
If you
before
give it a
you
shot.
do that, I would like it if you could walk me through a little game called South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Yes. Oh, I love
Yep,
this one.
What year is it, by the way?
I picked this back up today. I've had a couple of false starts on it where I played it and then either got distracted by something shiny or I have young kids, so if I play this during the day, like they'll come up and be like, "Dad, you're playing a cartoon. What's going on? I want to watch." And I have to pause it and just be like, "No, okay, I'll shut it off.
This is a daddy cartoon.
This is a daddy cartoon." Like, I know it looks like it's for kids, but it's really not. Trust me.
It's
But it's
so
it's
good.
wonderful. It's just like they really captured the feel of South Park. Like, say what you will about the show and it's goofy and all that, but like South Park is its own world, and they put you right in that world really well.
If you've
And
ever
I
been a
know,
fan of South Park for any amount of time, you will be absolutely enthralled with this game. It's
Yep,
Yep.
it's a perfect
Trey
love
Parker
letter
and
to the
Matt
whole
Stone
series.
worked on it and did the voices, and it looks like you're playing an episode of the show.
Yep. Obsidian, I think, is the developer that took this on. They're known for the they did the Fallout 3 sequel,
New Vegas?
New Vegas. They've done some RPGs and stuff. Yeah, this one seems like their cherry on top to me. Anyway, I think it's the best thing they've ever done.
Yeah,
Weren't
and
they
like there's
Pillars
lots
of
of little
Eternity?
things to find. What's that, Ryan?
Weren't they Pillars of Eternity?
Oh,
think so.
I could
Sounds
probably,
right.
Probably Google it and find out. Let me see here. Obsidian Entertainment.
Yeah, there's a lot of just little hidden nooks and crannies to search in and find stuff and little collectibles, and it's nothing you have to track down. It's nothing that, like, there are no like critical items to find like that, but there's just lots of stuff to find if you're looking for it. And the combat is like, it's turn-based, but you've got some timed button presses to kind of keep you engaged. And you got Butters following you around. I mean, I should have led
Yeah.
with that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Butters is the best.
they basically take the Super Mario RPG battle system and just
Yep.
make it filthy with South Park, which is great.
oh, there's a Shin Pokemon there.
Yeah, you find Shin Pokemon around. You go to Kenny's shitty house.
And it plays the little soundbite, Shin Pokemon.
Yeah, they really made use of the license well. Like, I was worried this was going to be another like shitty, cash
Cash in.
grab. Yeah, exactly. Like, it was just going to be like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a vaguely South Park themed RPG, and it's
A lot of licensed things are not good.
So much better than that. And
I had South Park 64.
Oh,
It was a dodgeball game.
you could, like, pee on
Sorry.
you could pee on your snowballs and then throw them at the
Yep.
other kids, and
Yellow snowballs.
that was also a South Park of a different time. Like, the early
Yes.
South Park stuff is garbage.
Yep.
There's some of it that's still pretty funny, but it's not this. It's not what we're seeing on the screen right now, which,
Hmm.
in the
So
64
yeah, I played
game
a few
was-
hours of it today, and I'll hopefully be able to keep going with it, at least at night.
Yeah. There's a part you got farther than I did, and it's funny that you. It's funny. It's really funny to me that you picked this up like so recently, because just last night I was going through all my games and I was like, God, there's just nothing I really like, feel like I want to dive into, and I was scrolling through and I saw Stick of Truth and I was like, you know what? I'm reinstalling that because I need to finish that game. And then you like mentioned today that you were playing it. I'm like, oh no way. That's pretty cool. So.
Did I get further than you? Because I never fought Al Gore. I haven't fought Al Gore. I met him.
I think
I gotta find Man Bear Pig.
I think I'm further than you because there's also
Yeah, it sounds like it.
there's also a part where you get shrunk down by the underpants gnomes. Spoiler alert. And there's I can't
Never
say
mind.
I can't say anything
Forget
more.
it.
No, I definitely haven't ruined it. That level is the funniest thing that I've ever done in a video game, and yeah, I can't wait for you to experience that so we could talk about it.
Yeah, I made a thief this time because I made a Jew the first 2 times.
I forgot that Jew was one of the playable character classes. That's right. You could be a warrior, a mage, a thief, or a Jew.
Just because as someone who's been playing RPGs for 30 years, like, I know what a fighter, a mage, and a thief are going to do. I don't know what a Jew's going to be, so I'm like, all right, let's do that.
Isn't it basically
I think it's
a
kind
warlock?
of a paladin.
Oh, I thought it was like a warlock type thing, but okay. I thought that was the even funnier part of it. But... All right.
That's
So,
that's
yeah.
a game.
I know the South Park Fractured Butthole got pushed back.
I think you said that wrong.
Which part?
The fractured butthole?
Sorry, Fractured Butthole.
There you go. Come on.
Come on, man, yeah.
Get your mind out of the gutter. We're not
That
fracturing
got
buttholes
delayed.
here.
Well,
It's a
as
bummer,
long as they
but
do
it's-
it right.
A bummer?
Yeah, for sure.
A bummer, Brian?
Just it's a superhero themed one of these, which makes me care less.
I think for me, the pedigree now of what Stick of Truth was makes me
Yeah.
okay with it being, they could make it whatever. They could just make it the regular kids dicking around
Oh,
town,
yeah.
and I'd play that too, because...
I'm still looking forward to it, but like this is right in my wheelhouse where we're playing fantasy stuff.
Yeah. The kids,
Superheroes is not my thing.
Yeah. Everything
not
is
me either.
so fucking well done. Like, you get a weapon upgrade, and you're like, okay, what is it? And it's like, oh, it's like a plastic lightsaber, but they're pretending it's real, and so it's like it's got really good stats and stuff. Or this, foam sword or whatever. Or this one is just like clearly a screwdriver with tinfoil wrapped around it or something.
Yep, everyone's walking around town with their nose buried in the cell phone, and like you get friends on Facebook. That's how you get perks by having more friends. I found Jesus.
There he is, right there. Oh man. Yeah.
This game, this whole series is just the things they do, and especially with the way the political climate is, regardless of what you believe right now, it's just giving them so much ammunition.
It's like South Park's always been ridiculous, but not stupid. It's not mindless.
Right. Well, I would argue some of that early stuff was kind of mindless, but
Yeah, the first few seasons
Yeah.
were kind of aimless, but
they really found their niche.
I think right around the time, I think it was the Fun with Weapons episode, that things kind of started to turn around.
Oh man, that one was so good. That's the one where it's like all the anime characters come out.
Yep.
Yes, that one was real good.
Parents are making the huge deal about kids having weapons and everything, and they're not making a big deal about it. But as soon as they see Cartman's pee-pee, then oh no.
Yeah.
hashtag America.
Now I just want to go like binge watch South Park, and just
I might do that.
all the Butters episodes specifically. I got to talk about that part too. That's my favorite part of the whole game, is the way that they handle healing. Is like Butters is the paladin character, and so when somebody needs to get healed, he runs up to him and goes, "Oh, I got you, little buddy," and pats him on the back, and it heals him up. It's so fucking great. I just love it. But yeah, anyway,
Lay on hands.
South Park, keep making games, keep making them this good, and I'll keep letting Brian buy them, and then I'll play them in his Steam library. That's what we'll do. Well, I want to talk about Zelda, if you'll permit me,
I'll allow it.
because
I don't have much to say, but I'll listen.
I have been a Zelda fanboy for about as long as I can remember. I strayed when the Wii U was a thing and when the Wii was a thing because those consoles just did nothing for me. My Brian, you're going to be getting yourself a PS4. I'm going to be getting myself a Switch. I've kind of committed to
fair.
it. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to play the new Zelda game.
The new Zelda
Really
looks
amped for it.
incredible. It looks so good.
I have been trying to find something to scratch the Zelda itch that I have, and there's
Oceanhorn.
Yes, I booted up Oceanhorn actually a couple nights ago, and I played it for probably 20 minutes or so, and it's good. It's very good, but it isn't quite
Made you want a Zelda.
Yes. So
Yep.
today I installed something called CMU or CMU, or I don't know how to say it, but it's a Wii U emulator. And I checked my Magic Internet drawer, and it turns out I have a copy of Wind Waker HD in there, and I booted that up and tried it, and it doesn't fucking work, really.
Now, to be fair, you actually own Wind Waker, right?
I do, yeah, I actually do, and I have a GameCube, and I could pull it out and hook it up and play it right now if I wanted to, but I don't have a old TV or anything. It won't hook up to my monitors, and I don't really want to set it up in my living room, so I'm kind of limited there. So that's why I kind of felt okay going down this route and trying to see if I could just emulate it. The Wii U emulator doesn't really work that well. I was looking at other people streaming it and that sort of thing, and none of them can run it great. It's choppy at best and downright unplayable during certain areas. But I've heard the Dolphin, the GameCube emulator version, is really good, and they actually have an HD texture pack that you can get for it that makes it look really good. So I might travel down that little rabbit hole here after the show, report back and see if that's any better. But
Wind Waker's on my stuff I want to play list. Yep. I never gave it enough time.
The more I think about it, it might be my favorite Zelda game. I don't know. I always go back to Link to the Past, but when I booted up Wind Waker,
That's the only right answer.
I know. Maybe it's because I've gone down and played through A Link to the Past so many times. It used to be a thing I did yearly. I'd go, replay A Link to the Past, and I mean the game still holds up. It's still a great game, but there was something just magical about Wind Waker that I don't think any of the other ones have quite captured, and this new one looks like it will. I'm hoping it does. I don't know.
I'm someone that lost love of Zelda when the N64 came out because I still think Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask is trash.
Thank you.
And,
You guys are wrong, but it's okay. I understand.
And I didn't own a GameCube or the chance to play any of the newer Zeldas, but the newer Zeldas at least look good. But this one, Breath of the Wild, looks like it could be something really amazing.
Yeah. The thing that's kicked my interest in it into overdrive is Game Informer has done a couple really good interviews and articles and segments and things like that, where they've interviewed the developers and gotten like actual hands-on experience with the game, like extended more than what most people saw at E3 or whatever. And they all keep saying the same thing, that like if you grew up playing these games and you love Zelda, but maybe your taste changed a little bit, you started getting into Dark Souls, or you started getting into some of these other games that all weren't quite Zelda, but have matured, where Zelda's kind of like, if anyone tried Skyward Sword or watched any Skyward Sword gameplay, it's ridiculous. I don't know how anyone got through that game, because it seems like total garbage and trash to me. But I'm sure there's people that love it. But it's not for me. This looks like it's for me. Like they've revamped the systems that don't make sense. Like there's no auto jumping anymore. You don't have to run up to a ledge and then leap across that exact ledge. You can just jump. Link has a stamina meter. You can climb cliffs and scale buildings and things like that, as long as you have a grip meter enough for them. there's gear, there's customizable weapons and armor and different gear for different situations. There's potion making and cooking, all these other little systems that all
Is
work
there
together.
a leveling system? Is there straight leveling?
I don't think there's leveling. There's no XP or anything like that, but there is, like, I think there's a sense of progression within the weapons and gear. Like, the way they describe it is you're going to constantly be looking for weapons and picking them up and using them up until they break and then picking up other ones. And you're going to be changing the kind of gear that you wear. Like, if you go into an area that's like a desert, you can't be wearing, a bunch of armor and stuff. Like, you actually
Light mail armor?
Yeah, you actually have to wear light clothing and sun protection and stuff. If you go somewhere cold, you have to bundle Link up and whatever. Or you have to make potions that will give him temporary, status effects. Some of them will make him endure cold. Some of them will make him stealthier somehow. Drink a potion and, it's magic. It's Hyrule. It's whatever. So makes him quieter. I don't know. They've said other cool stuff like that doesn't really make sense to me, but Aonuma and Miyamoto have been on these different press circuits saying that, like, you can start the game, get through like the initial stuff, and then go straight to the end and do the final boss battle, beat the game if you're good enough. If you can, basically dodge everything and survive it. Like, technically it's possible.
There
to do
will
that.
be someone.
Exactly. That's exciting to me that, like, they basically said, like, hey, if you want to, break the game and do it this way, it's possible. That's not something that we've had really in Zelda before. The first one was kind of like that, in that you could go anywhere and do anything. There weren't a ton of gates in your way. But, like...
Yeah, but then you gotta go and get the bow and arrow, then you gotta get the raft, and you gotta get the
get to a
ladder.
certain point, and then, yeah. This seems to be kind of in that same idea. And they've said that there's people that will get to, like a certain level of completion, and they'll go and finish the game, and they'll still feel like they got a complete story, which I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to work that in. If they don't know what you're going to have done to get to the end, I don't know how they'll give you a cohesive story, but that's the part of Japanese game development that always leaves me a little bit worried, because I feel like there's just stuff that gets lost in the translation and localization that maybe just doesn't make sense for a Western audience, but this looks the most in line with the other stuff that I play and that I'm used to, that I've seen in a long time from them. So, yeah.
Zelda Scrolls.
Zelda Scrolls, yes.
It looks to me like the NPCs will actually have personality and a level of interaction, which, other than being quirky when you talk to them, cool looking or something, they didn't really have personalities or anything to them, especially in the N64 games, which we trash. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. I mean, it's not going to make you buy a Switch day one.
Sure.
But I'll definitely look at it at some point.
Well, I will do my best to get one on launch day. I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. I've heard rumors.
They're sold out over here a long time ago.
Yeah, they sold out in my place too, but I have some inside knowledge. There are some perks to it formerly working at Best Buy. And I've heard that there might be, at least in our town, there might be a couple available. So I'm going to see what I can do. But yeah, I will report back once I get after that.
Yeah, I want to play the new Zelda real bad. It's just I can't justify throwing $400 at it when there's not a whole lot of games that I want to play on the Switch. So somehow, some way, I'll get my hands on it. But
I'll bring it over.
There we go.
Be a thing I can do.
I'll come over too. I'll just come out from Seattle. It's okay.
We can. Do you have a terrace? Do you have a rooftop terrace, Brian?
Ooh, I don't.
Can we install one before March 3rd? We got time.
Yeah, I can hook that up.
All right. I just want to do it.
Karen, come on over.
Yeah, Karen, we'll play 1-2 Switch.
Jesus Christ, she brought her video game with her. God damn it.
We're up here to drink and eat hot dogs, Karen. We don't want to fucking play Mario.
Yeah, we're all going to crowd around this tiny screen.
So I got an idea, Brian. Brian, you and I should do a separate podcast where we just trash talk the N64 Zeldas.
He's fucking trying to usurp me on my own show? Is this real life?
Well, he's like the only person that agrees with me, because everyone's like, no, those are classics. I'm like, They tried to do something unique on a system that didn't have the power to do it, but they weren't fun.
I think part of it is probably, like, at least for me, it's an age thing. Like, when those came out, I was, probably 19 or 20, so I wasn't a kid when they came out. I don't have that nostalgic pull for it. But, yeah, like, I thought, even at the time, they just, like, Ocarina of Time just looked terrible. It just looked like dog shit. It was just an ugly game to look at, and this, like, the beginning was very slow, and I felt the same when I tried to play Twilight Princess. The first hour, I'm just like, Jesus, just let me go out and do something. I'm fucking chasing the horse around and running errands in the town, and it's another drab, just, you know, greens and browns, and yeah.
Yep, it looks like they took all of that and said, okay, cool, we'll give you exactly what you want. We're not going to make you go through a tutorial thing for half an hour where we teach you about L targeting, and we teach you about, you know, how to move a block. You figure it out. Here you go. And that was something really cool to see, because I've often felt like Nintendo just lives in their bubble, and they don't let any of they don't hear anything about other games or what they're doing. They just keep making the same shit the same way they've been making it. And finally, like, I actually heard it come out of Mr. Onuma's face. He was like, I thought people would be, you know, worried about getting lost. We were always so concerned about the player feeling like they didn't know what to do next, and, you know, what would they do if they got lost. And he's like, it's fun to get lost. He's like, he actually realized, like, while they were playing this and trying this out, that's part of the fun, is that you can get lost somewhere, and that's okay if there's fun stuff to do in those places. So
that's the fun of playing Skyrim for me, is getting lost. Like, literally, like, I'll get sidetracked on a quest 10 times between point A and point B.
Those games are the argument for open world games to me, because you can't
feels like you're part of a real world.
You can't do that, and that's the thing I keep hearing about this, is they've nailed that. That's alive and well in Hyrule. It's a world you want to explore. It's a world that rewards you for doing that, and if they can get that right, it'll be the best Zelda game they've ever made. So I'm excited. I'm real excited. Well, I think that's going to wrap up what we've been playing. Cap that off there, or else I will just gush about Zelda for the rest of the evening.
Because then you'll want to talk about the N64 games a little bit. And
look, I'm with you. Visually, they're not impressive. I'll even give you that the systems and stuff aren't super great. Bad. It is, and there's worse things, though. I mean, there's other games that still kind of employ it. Hell, you're doing it in For Honor to some degree, so this is just, I mean, I don't want to give it too much garbage. You're roping me into this. I was trying to cut myself off.
Okay, go.
We'll just cut the ties there. I'll agree with you on some points. The 64 versions are not the best games. Anyone who thinks Ocarina of Time is the best one they've made, they're smoking crack. I'll give you that much.
All right.
We'll agree to disagree on the rest.
Link to the Past.
Yeah, yep. Sure, fine. Yep. Well, let us get into some news. Huh, Brian? News? I'm going to do a little ditty. Hang on. Am I, though? There it is. It wouldn't be a podcast if I didn't script some of the music. Alright. What's been going on in the world of video game news, Brian?
Well, Tyler, there's talk of a Castlevania animated series coming to the Netflix this year.
There's no way that could be bad, right?
Dark and gritty.
Oh, that's what you want.
That's,
got it.
I don't know, like, once I heard it was animated, I didn't care a whole lot. At first, I'm like, oh, that's neat. It's a video game thing. And then I read it was animated, and I don't know. I care less now. And then Dark and Gritty, and it's like, okay, well,
I mean, Castlevania.
I'm going to need to hear some high praise before I really bother, I think.
One of the headlines I read said Netflix gets its Game of Thrones with a Castlevania series.
I saw that.
And
animated.
One, what the fuck does Game of Thrones have anything to do with Castlevania? Like, in what world would you compare those two?
People are gonna die.
There you go. Yeah.
Gonna have some boobies and some dongers out there and a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
We should have talked about the Conan Exile dong. That's what we should have talked about.
Death and dongers coming to you. I just don't. I don't know.
It's 2017, so I'm past the point where I'm like, oh, cool, this is a video game thing that people are gonna see. Like, wow, like, everyone's gonna like. It's not that anymore. Like, they're not such a niche anymore.
Yeah,
it's just not a big deal.
I don't know how well that's going to translate. If you told me they were going to do a Legend of Zelda series and, give it the same funding that you'd throw behind something like Game of Thrones,
yeah,
maybe I'd be interested. I'd be real worried, but I'd also be interested.
Yeah, for sure.
Castlevania doesn't hold a lot of weight for me, and I'm just real skeptical of the whole thing.
I'm excited because it's a Netflix series. Netflix, with the exception of Fuller House, because it was supposed to be corny and crappy, all of Netflix's series have been well produced, whether you like the material or not. So that's got me interested.
Yeah, I mean I've heard this song and dance before. What was it? Marco Polo? I think was the series that was supposed to be the Netflix Game of Thrones. I think it was
okay.
I think there's been a couple other ones. There was
Narcos.
There was wasn't there like a Genghis Khan thing, or I don't know. Anyway, the point is I've heard the story before. And I just feel like if you're going to start swinging at Game of Thrones, you've got to really have something special, and I don't think a Castlevania animated series is going to be it. But maybe that's on the fault of the journalist and not on the fault of...
I think so.
Yeah.
Because Netflix recently did the Voltron animated series, and I love that. But Voltron was animated to begin with, so it was what I was expecting, and it's really well done, so... I'm sort of a Castlevania fan. I mean, I like the Metroidvania games better than the traditional older ones.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night.
I'll give it a shot, because it's a Netflix series. I haven't disliked any Netflix series I've seen, with the exception of Fuller House, because that's other trash. But, yeah, I mean, why not?
I wish it well. I hope it comes out and it's really cool and people dig it. I'll check it out. I guess we'll see.
Sure.
What else do we have in store for our news? I can't find the Google Doc, so it's gone. I'm leaning on you here, Brian.
They're going to be selling E3 tickets to the public.
Oh, that's not something they do.
No. I feel like that would have been a lot bigger news 15 years ago than now. I feel like E3 is kind of a dinosaur now. It's not really, I don't know. Like, people can just have press conferences just like streaming and...
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not there, so I'll wait an extra 10 minutes to find a stream online and watch it. I don't know.
It's just not a big deal. Unless there's something particularly you want to do there. Like, PAX is really big out here. But no one goes for the PAX news stuff or the reveals anymore. They go for, like, the game stuff because that's what you actually can do there. Any of the information you can get just as well from someone streaming it, or even the streams that I don't know if PAX offers to a stream you can buy, but the information's out on the internet within minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm with you,
I think
Brian.
it's the spectacle it used to be.
I think they probably have to sell tickets to the public. It's not so much that they are saying, "Oh, look at us, we're so progressive. We're finally letting all you plebes in." Like, I think it's
like, publishers don't have to go to E3 anymore or be left out in the cold. Like, that world is gone. So.
I mean, all you really need is one person to cover it, and the rest of your sites can just... I don't think there's the same... and I could be totally wrong. I could be talking out of my ass here, but I don't think there's the same, like... pedestal for having the first coverage, like breaking the news anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to get retweeted and rebroadcast out by every channel possible.
Yep, it's exclusive for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yep. There's somebody going to be live blogging it while it happens, so I can just pick my
Mhm.
favorite one and it'll be there. And beyond that, like, E3 used to be a trade show. It used to be for, you know, the developers and for the hardware manufacturers and stuff to all get together and make a case for the business. And like you said, they don't need this platform for it anymore. They can do it whenever. Nintendo's been doing their Treehouse stuff for, I don't know, years now. They haven't been at E3 the way they used to be.
Mhm.
There's a lot of companies that do their own events. Blizzard's one of them. You know,
Sure, getting a booth at E3 is real expensive, and I don't think they can justify the cost. A lot of companies anymore.
sure. Yep. So
So
it's
you can
cool.
go.
Hey, if they want to send us tickets to E3, guys, I'll show up with a press badge, looking cool. I'll do it. Sure. Let's go. Let's go to E3. But
Sponsor us, E3.
I'm not going to be.
Yeah, I'll
like,
go. I'm not even a part of the thing, but I'll go.
Yeah, there you go. So that's where I'm at with it. Like, cool that it's happening, but I don't think it's groundbreaking, and I think it's probably 5 years too late at the least.
Yep.
So cool. What else is hanging in our little thing here? Phrase?
Find your Google Doc.
There
Yeah.
it is. NBA Take-Two Interactive partnering on NBA 2K Esports League. Those words.
That's weird.
Those words don't. What?
Like, you understand the words, but not the order that I've put them in.
Yeah. One, as a side note, fuck Take-Two. All right, I'm putting you
Whoa,
out there. Yeah,
whoa.
no, yeah, it's happening.
Take-Two. Come on, sponsor us, Take-Two.
Fuck you, but give me some money.
Yeah, I know. I've been piping these YouTube videos in, and apparently, like, they don't like it if you use their own promo videos in one of your videos, and they'll do a copyright claim on you. It's just stupid. Nintendo does it too.
Which
This
one?
one's Rockstar.
Which one flagged it?
The Rockstar
okay.
stuff, the
The Red
GTA
Dead.
Online stuff, and the Red Dead stuff. Yeah. Yep. So.
Don't you promote us?
Take-Two can suck it.
You know what? Don't sponsor
I don't
us.
care who
Don't
hears
you
it.
Fucking sponsor us.
That's right.
Don't sponsor these guys.
But what they are sponsoring is an NBA 2K Esports League. What?
Yeah. So, looking at the article here on ESPN.com, it looks like each NBA team is going to have a team of 5 gamers.
Oh no shit! Really?
And it's going to be centered around the NBA 2K video game series.
So, each NBA team is going to
Yes.
sponsor an esports team to play their NBA team in the video game.
That's what it sounds like. Well, it says all 30 franchises are interested in participating. I know, didn't the Philadelphia 76ers buy an esports team?
Sure, probably. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I think Mark Cuban has a team. He's got a Dota team or a League team or something like that. Like, sure, whatever. But this seems way more involved. This seems like the league partnering up and saying, like, this is going to be a thing that we dump money into. And
Yes, it says the owners of the 76ers last year purchased Team Dignitas.
oh shit,
No shit.
the whole organization, or just
I think so.
interesting, huh?
Now, this just might be an oddly phrased sentence here because it's ESPN and what's an esport, but it says real NBA players will not be represented as avatars in the NBA 2K games. Competitors will design on-screen avatars based on their own stylistic preferences. I think that I'm not entirely sure what that means. Like, because the basketball games have NBA players' likenesses and stats and everything in them.
Right.
They're talking about on-screen avatars. Like, are they saying like I'm not?
Oh, this is the best thing in the world. No,
This is doomed to fail.
No,
this
this
is
I
like
think this is just someone not understanding what an avatar is.
Oh, is it though, or is it going to be literally they will create their own? I'm a a Detroit Piston esport guy, and here's my online guy, and I'm gonna play like Brian would play Jaina, right? You could be a Jaina main for Heroes
I'm
of the
here to
Storm,
help.
and instead it'll be, there's Jimmy. There's virtual Jimmy. He mains Jimmy for the 76ers or the Pistons or whatever.
Right. I think this is just saying that like the person who's playing as LeBron James in the game isn't going to try to make his avatar look like LeBron James, which just seems like a weird thing to even have to mention. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I
awkward.
need more information.
It sounds more like to me that they're going to be playing their own custom people. That like the 76ers in NBA
I see what you
2K
mean.
will
Well,
be a team of digital avatar people, like separate characters that these people will control, and those will be their representations in the game.
like they're not going to be controlling NBA players in the game. Like,
That's what
wouldn't
it
that
sounds like.
that would require an awful lot of work? Like, that would be a whole separate game,
That's what it
or at least like separate skins
sounds like.
for everything.
That's what it sounds like, though. It's like it'll be
It's
this.
weird.
It'll be the Chicago Bulls, but the esports division, and they will have their own unique. That's what that sounds like to me. It's real weird.
Huh. Well, I'm curious to see how it plays out because
Yeah, I'm not gonna shit on it because that's fascinating to me. If they're gonna put that much time and effort into it, I want to watch what that looks like. That sounds so bizarre.
I'm very curious, and I hate basketball.
Me too.
So
I don't care.
the fact that
dumbest
I'm
thing.
curious has me.
Yeah, it says the NBA will hold a draft of esports players, and each franchise will pick 5 to play as its E-League team. They'll draw salaries, train, and treat it as full-time jobs.
So yeah,
I need to get better at video games.
time to pick up NBA 2K, boys. Let's do this. Let's get drafted.
Is that what this? Is this just a really elaborate sales thing? Like they just want people to buy the game to try out?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think
sounds like they're going to be throwing real salaries.
we're trying to
at people.
get into the esports market.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's nothing. I really don't want to shun this because if they can do this, if they can break into a bigger market with something that has much more widespread appeal than Blizzard characters duking it out or random shits in Dota or whatever.
I think they're hoping NBA fans will have a reason to watch an esport.
Well, I think part of this too is like those video games sell a lot of copies. There are a lot of people who play the 2K games. There's a lot of people who play Madden. There's a lot of people,
I play the baseball games. I buy those every other year. So
there you go. So what if you found out that the MLB was gonna draft people to play for like actual teams, and you could be a member of, I don't know,
The Seattle
the Mets or
Tyler.
whatever. Seattle Seahawks.
Mariners.
That's
Good
football.
guess, though.
I would personally be like, wow, those are people that like this game a lot more than me. I just like to
But
do
that's
the
every
mode where
game.
you play like one dude and you take that guy from the beginning to the end. The RPG aspect of it, basically.
But I guess my point is that like, there's probably more people that play NBA 2K whatever than play Heroes of the Storm. Like now,
I don't know about that anymore.
I mean, I guess we could dig into the numbers and stuff, but I mean, just going off of console sales and things like that, there's probably a fair amount out there. But I doubt that the amount of people that play those games also convert into somebody who would care about an esport. Now, if you made one of those an esport, that might be an easier pill to swallow than, little fantasy elves and goblins and orcs and gnomes and stuff shooting spells at each other. Like, maybe they'd be willing to tune into something like that. I don't know. It's interesting. It's fascinating. I will watch it with utter amazement as it plays out from the sidelines. No pun intended.
I mean, there's no doubt that the sports games sell very well, like the NBA, the Madden, and everything. They sell very well, but they've been downtrending overall a little bit in the last couple of years.
I guess
Basketball doesn't have sidelines.
Because of the, I think it's because of the rise of like esports and stuff like that. Like, it's a different way to get competitive.
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah, I feel like there's, maybe it's the marketing side of my brain that's kicking in, but there's probably an underserved market there. There's probably a potential for them to break into this by having a broader appeal, something like this. And it doesn't seem like that much of a stretch to convert a sports fan into an esports fan if you give them something they actually give shit about. I don't know. That's it's interesting. I'm very interested.
I'm curious. It's hard for me to imagine a basketball fan who's not a gamer giving a shit about people playing a basketball video game. I don't know.
Sure,
we'll see.
But a basketball fan who is a gamer that likes basketball video games, that might be a bigger sell. Or somebody who just likes the sports video games who maybe doesn't even like the actual sport that much. I don't know. Maybe that's.
We'll see.
It'll be good because you'll get to keep dismantling my actual sports knowledge here in front of everyone.
Frank's not here, so
yeah, you got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
and
sports really, so I'm just trying to chip in where I can here.
Me either. I'm just saying words. Every time I try to come up with a team name, it's like, oh, I shouldn't just say all the Michigan teams. I should probably try to think of another one.
Stay close to home.
So stay tuned for more of that. So, what does it mean that Steam is to replace Steam Greenlight? Steam is going to replace Steam Greenlight with Steam, or Steam is going to replace Steam Greenlight with something else?
Steam Direct.
Steam Direct.
Steam will suck less.
Yeah, there's not a lot of details in this article, but I think I'd heard the number something like 4,000 games came to Steam last year.
More games came to Steam last year than there was on Steam the year before.
It was a huge number.
Wow. That's
I
impressive.
think they're looking to,
sorry, go ahead.
I don't know, maybe tighten that up a little bit. There's very little detail on it other than, hey, this is happening.
Greenlight seems like a very obtuse system. Like, I've heard from some people that have had stuff go through that process, that it can feel like, I don't know, it can feel like it's a very strange thing because it's kind of like almost a tribunal thing that happens. I think people have to vote on it being greenlit before it actually gets through and gets published on Steam. And I think it can.
Have you used it? Have you looked at it at all?
I've browsed it a couple times. Yeah, I've gone through and it's been a while.
Would you buy this game?
Yeah, it's like
sure.
And then it tries to throw a bunch of other stuff at you, so you just kind of like filter through like thumbs up or thumbs down. Like, is this something that you think is cool or want to know more about? Yeah, that's neat, but I feel like that's a huge hurdle for an actual like established indie developer or somebody who's got like a legitimate product. It seems like a weird hurdle to have to get over when other stuff seems to get greenlit all the time that's just utter trash. I feel like that can be kind of a sting,
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody's gonna just ironically upvote these silly games that are like it's solitaire but with a bunch of anime chicks that are naked.
Shower with your dad simulator.
Or weird shit like that. Yeah.
People just get games. They get their friends, or I imagine it's possible they can get bots created to upvote games for them, and then we get trash on Steam.
Yeah.
From what I understand about Steam Direct, which is like Brian said, not much has been said. Like they have to come up with a whole proposal with the game on paper and turn it into Valve to get looked over.
Yeah, so, it says company verification, tax documents, and then an application fee, which is not given a number.
But the fact that there's a fee means that something is going to stop some people right there.
Yeah, because right now it's like making a podcast. Just any dumbasses can,
We can put little digital stick figures of us talking and put it on Steam right now if we wanted to.
This could be a Steam game. We just need to put a couple buttons on here and throw solitaire up on the side, and boom, Quest
Yep,
log.
you're playing it
game.
right now. What?
Congratulations.
I don't
You
think
just
it's
got an
quite that
achievement.
bad, but- Get your Steam cards. Get your foil packs. This one's a doozy.
I mean, we need to know more, but if it fixes the way the Steam market is right now, I'm all for it. But we just
It kind of has a Wild West feel right now.
Yeah, if it legitimizes the process for indie developers, I'm all for it. And if it cuts down on some of the garbage, I'm all for it. So cool, good stuff all around. I checked our mailbag and it was real empty. There wasn't anything in here, so we just brought a fan on instead. I think that's a good substitute. We had Ryan to be able to.
I'm
Email us.
awesome.
You can be on the show.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's
I'll do
not
it
hard.
again.
It's not hard to get here. I mean, you got Skype? Do you want to be on the show? Fuck it. Like,
Maybe I'll even get a camera for next time, so you can look at something other instead of my cat's ass.
That was an unintended bonus, I think.
Dora's like, "Do you want me to crop that picture for you?" I'm like, "No."
Should we take the butthole out of this picture?
It's all butthole up in here.
Yeah.
Good stuff, guys. Well, I think it's gonna pretty much wrap it up. Unless you guys have something else you wanna go over. Do you guys have anything cool you're working on? Anything you're doing that you want to talk about?
That I'm doing, not particularly, but I'm really looking forward to what's it called, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been
coming
learning
up.
about that one. Yeah.
That looks like it's going to be something crazy, like just running around hunting machine animals. That's something to look forward to, and I'll come back and talk about that day one.
Robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm real jealous of this. The more Brian talks about his eventual PS4, I'm envious because there's some really cool games that I'd like to play, and that one's up there. Everything I've seen.
It's
from
already
it
got a
looks
library.
Awesome. Yep. So, hey, the Switch is gonna get Skyrim. Maybe maybe eventually it can get.
That sounds cool. What's Skyrim?
Cool. Yeah. Or maybe it'll come to
6-year-old
PC.
game that's still huge.
I really do hope that all of these exclusives eventually go away and they realize that they are just leaving money on the table by trying to force people into purchasing hardware. I think the numbers show if you were to just open your stuff up and make it available on every platform that you would make a lot more money, but
I don't agree.
you don't?
I mean,
you don't think-
I agree with you in theory, but the thing is, as primarily a PC gamer, consoles hold PC games back. And like Final Fantasy XIV, there's so much stuff that they wanted to do with the game that they couldn't because it was on the PlayStation 3, and they're phasing it out in this next expansion because it just doesn't have the hardware capability. So between consoles, yes, you're right, but PC, some games just need to be PC exclusive to be good.
Yeah, I guess I guess maybe I'm more selfish and I want all the console manufacturers to also release their stuff on PC more so than I'm worried about, because I get your point. Yeah, if you're developing something that requires more than what the consoles can deliver, then,
MMOs are that thing.
If you had to
Really.
to make it available on everything, that would kind of suck. So yeah, I guess I don't really want that either. I guess just where it makes sense, for a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, like I mentioned this on another episode, is these things are being developed on PCs. They're the hardware that they use to make these games is a computer. So I don't understand why they the conversion, the port would not be that difficult. The consoles are basically using PC architecture at this point. So I don't know, maybe that's something we'll see more of in this generation as those things all get closer to parity. But Nintendo will be the last bastion of dissent. They'll never let that stuff go. So
You were great 30 years ago. Get over it.
well, we'll see.
Even 20 years ago, they were still
I'm
great.
counting down we got less than 3 weeks away now.
I really hope
For
Switch
Switch.
surprises and makes a lot of people happy. Well, surprises me. A lot of people are already saying Switch is going to be great.
Yep.
I just, as a disabled gamer, I look at that controller and I'm like, I have to pay an extra $70 to even try and play any of the serious games on this. So, no.
It is a steep barrier. I will concede that.
But one day.
I'll be blabbing about it. Kring will be for sure. He pre-ordered his like a smart boy, and
I will be listening.
We'll get him back on here to talk about it, and hopefully I can join him in that conversation. So we'll see. But let's get the heck on out of here. And I just need 1 second to do that because I forgot my thing. Hold, please.
This is the quality podcast stuff that I come here for.
This is what you want.
Couple of weeks or so.
Tyler fucking up the outros and intros and those sorts of things. That's what I do here. That's why they keep me around. It's been a blast. Yes, thank you for coming.
Thanks for being here, Ryan.
Kind of a short notice thing, and
anytime. Just give me a little bit more notice next time. I was glad to be here. I really was, though. I almost wasn't.
I understand. Well, thank you, everyone who tuned in on Twitch and anyone who's listening to the podcast version of the show on iTunes or Stitcher or SoundCloud or wherever else you might find it. You can go right to questlogcast.com if you want. We'd prefer that. That's our stuff. You can follow us on Twitter. Twitter's pretty cool. Questlogcast is where you'd find
Twitter's
us.
the coolest.
Yeah, all the kids are using it these days, I think. Should we do
President uses it, guys.
Should we do Snapchat? Is that a thing? Can we snap the show? I don't understand Snapchat.
I don't either.
We'll figure it out.
We're old men. We're all old men.
Speaking of things that are old, you can email the show. We'll read it, I promise. It's mail@questlogcast.com. A big thank you to Visitor, who does the intro and outro music. You can find more of his stuff at visitor.bandcamp.com. And that's going to wrap it up. Episode 19 in the bag. We did it together.
Dunzo.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys next week. And thanks. Goodbye.
Catch you next time.
See ya.